Alrighty, welcome back. We have here today, it is December 9th. Today's video, we're going to be doing the Evil Dead tier list. Now, these are just my opinions. You can see on the right, we have S, A, B, C, D. S meaning that they're the best character or the strongest characters in the game. So let's start off with the first character. Brain Dead. I don't really got to explain much with Cheryl. They're the best support in the game, and just overall, when you play against her, it's just, brain dead. Nothing interesting about this character. I don't got to really explain much. I don't got to explain anything. Just brain dead. Next character, Witch. She's the Plague Bringer. She's like the best boss unit in the game. Brain dead. She can just spam her abilities, get in front energy back, and all that. Yeah, there's really nothing to explain. She's brain dead, best elite units in the game, and all that. That's shit. She's not, the other boss units can't suffer cooldowns and all that, and she can just keep spamming her abilities and suffer no cooldown. Yeah, just brain dead overall. Brain dead ass character. Next up is Warrior Ash. I know a lot of people may find me going, why? His attack speed with the chainsaw is good. His potion's really good. His prestige level, you do like 160, shield explosion or shield blast. Yeah, shit is stupid. Yeah, overall, I mean, no offense, but he's a brain dead ass character. Like, there's just nothing really else to explain. You know why he's busted. Just brain dead overall. I think he's stupid. There's really nothing else to explain about this character. All these characters up here, there's really nothing to explain. Elagos, brain dead. Yeah, he's brain dead too. Literally, everybody that plays Elagos just uses basic units and they just spam heavies. Yeah, it's just boring. You power possess, heavy spam. Nothing fun about him. It's all brain dead. There's nothing really else to explain about him. There's nothing else to explain. His boss unit is just weak, and his elite units are just slow. So, yeah, Elagos is not a fun character. Next is Hunter Ash. He's the best hunter in the game, and overall, he's brain dead to play against. He's just stupid. Literally, he can just out-damage all the other hunters and just not do anything else. He's just the best hunter in the game. He can exercise people with his active ability. There's nothing fun about this character. He's busted. There's nothing else to explain. Annie, brain dead. Her and Hunter Ash on a team is just super busted. She just melts down bosses and just literally just a couple of shots and just everything else. Yeah, she's brain dead. There's nothing fun about this character. You just have to literally, you don't have to think much. Yeah, just brain dead overall, busted. She's like literally the dumbest leader in the game, and just literally takes away all the skill. All right, Henry. I think we're going to go into him next. Henry. A. For the most part, I think Henry's solid. He has invulnerable ability for 7 seconds. He can, he's a true tank. He starts with a shield bar at level 1 at the beginning of the game. He can have, I think, 7 or 6 or 5 shield bars. He can just be a tank. He can, he's a warrior. He's really good for most part. You press the active, he's tanky as shit. You can't really take him down. He's like one of those unstoppable tanks. But other than that, he's not brain dead like I would say other than these other characters up here. But yeah, other than that, I think he's solid for the most part. Scotty. A. For the most part, Scotty has some significant amount of damage with his lumberjack axe. A lot of Scotty players do that because of the weapon mastery, because of the lumberjack axe. But other than that, I'd say for the most part, he gets a kill. When he executes a deadite, he can reduce his fear level and all that. His active ability could use some tweaking, but other than that, he's pretty solid for the most part. Good damage. Quite tanky, but yeah, he's solid. Lord Arthur. I'm going to say he's better than Scotty. I'm going to put him in front. I think Lord Arthur's in front of Scotty for the fact that, one, he got a massive buff. Lord Arthur is really good right now. His sword and all that is, he starts with the sword. His he actually has light and heavy mastery, light and heavy weapon mastery, like combined. His active ability is really good. A lot of people are starting to play him a lot more. Really solid character. He's pretty good for the most part. I think a lot of people are enjoying him now because he got a buff and all that. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Lord Arthur players play him a lot and all that. So yeah, Lord Arthur's pretty solid. I think he's in a good spot right now, and yeah, that's good. All right, next character, Ed. For the most part, his looting is really good right now. A lot of people are playing Ed, mostly because they want to get that high quality loot and whatever and all that. For the most part, he has a crossbow mastery. A lot of people are using the crossbows on him because, that's his thing. But other than that, you can use other weapons like a boomstick or something for the most part. But he's a solid pick. A lot of people play him for the traps and all that. He's really good at dismembering traps with his flashlight active ability. So, for the most part, Ed is solid where he should be at, in my opinion. I think he's good for what he does. Yeah, he's not brain dead like those other characters up there. But, yeah, he's pretty solid. All right, Ash, Leader Ash. I still believe to this day that Leader Ash is probably the most balanced character in this game. Yeah, everything about him just feels so balanced. His active ability isn't too crazy. You just spam finishers and iframes and just reduce your fierce team. You're buffing them as well. But, not everyone fully understands him to an extent. And for the most part, every time I play against him, he's not that, that destructive player on the team. He's not a threatening, but other than that, he's not brain dead. He's perfectly balanced in my opinion. I feel like if he had a boomstick mastery, he'd be solid and be more of a good character. But other than that, I don't find him too crazy. I think he's in a decent spot. I just feel like they need to give him a boomstick mastery and he'd be solid for where he's at. Yeah, but to this day, Leader Ash is probably the most balanced character in this game. And that's just my opinion. I think he is the most balanced character. There's nothing else to explain. Yeah, that's just my opinion on him. He's really good right now. A lot of people are playing him, which is nice, but yeah. All right, Support Ash, B. I think for Support Ash, he's probably the most underrated support in the game. Not a lot of people. I mean, there's some instances where people will pick him, but in some cases not. He's not that crazy like Cheryl, who's brain dead, but getting heavies off and getting your heals and just getting the headshots and heals and all that. He would be higher if he got a rework or something or a little tiny buff or tweaking. But other than that, I think he's underrated. Definitely, I think he's a B tier character. He's pretty solid, but he also has weaknesses to hold him back because he got nerfs in the beginning of the launch. So hopefully the devs will look at him and give him more tweaking. That's just my opinion. I feel like he could be better. All right, Pablo. I know Pablo is probably... Yeah, should we do Pablo? Yeah, Pablo. B tier. Pablo got buffed recently. Every time he uses an amulet, he hides your team for 7 seconds or something around there. He can hide you and your teammates for a certain amount of time if you're close. So you won't be detected for a certain amount of time. He's pretty good. Providing amulets for the team is good and all that, but his healing is pretty low for the most part. It's the fact that he's invisible and Demon can't see him or just for the most part, he's not the best support in the game because there's better options you could pick in certain situations in a high comp setting. But yeah, Pablo's pretty good for the most part. I don't think he's that busted, but he's good. Right next to Support Ash. Next character, Kelly. Kelly is probably the third best hunter in the game. She's definitely not top tier at all. For the most part, she's pretty good. She can dodge with her active ability, does blade damage. Her meat hammer mastery got buffed. Other than that, for the most part, she's not the best character. She can provide damage and all that, damage is not the only thing that requires and all that. For the most part, she's picked, I think, not all the time. Sometimes in some situations, there's just better options you can pick. She's just not that good with her, There's not a lot of people use the meat hammer mastery, so that's kind of why. Her blade damage was buffed a little bit. Not that crazy, but other than that, she's okay where she's at. All right, next character, Mia. Mia, in my opinion, she's not the greatest warrior in the game. She's definitely not the weakest either. She's in a decent spot in B. Being resistant to fear when you activate your ability. Definitely you can get a lot of damage. I know this chick can get like 150,000 damage if you play her well. But when played well, she can be a threat. In some cases, not everyone knows how to use her in the lower ranks and all that. For the most part, I think she's solid. The only thing I don't like is the machete mastery, because I don't really see that as her being, like that. Not everyone uses the machete. A lot of people use the lumberjack axe instead. So I don't know why she has a machete mastery, I guess from the movie. But we all know the real weapon mastery should be a two-handed chainsaw. But other than that, Mia's okay, I think. It's just no one really fucks with the machete. But, that's just my opinion. I feel like they could change that probably if they wanted to. But that's not going to happen. But other than that, Mia's pretty solid for the most part with everything else. So I think she's good for that. All right. Who's next? I'm thinking. Amanda. C. All right. She's like probably the weakest hunter in the game and has not even once gotten a change since launch. Like, it's not. I don't know why she hasn't gotten any changes. She's just really weak. The blunderbuss build would work for her. The pistol mastery sucks. All this other stuff that she has just doesn't make her interesting. Like, her active ability is good for the most part. She shreds bosses, but it doesn't really give her any benefit after you go on cooldown. But her pistol mastery sucks. She hasn't gotten any buffs or anything, or rework or anything like that. Like, she's just weak as shit. So I wish they would do something about that. It's really important that she gets some love and all that. So I'm not really a fan of her at the moment. I don't really play her, so I wish she gotten changed. This might be a controversial one that I'm going to do. I don't know if this would do anything, but Evil Ash, I'm going to put in C, because I believe to this day that him and Henrietta are like the weakest demons at the moment. Him specifically, like, his Flutus is good. You get 70% reduction in damage and all that, but still, people, if they're smart, they're going to find your Flutist every time and destroy it, so there's not much you can do after that. He just becomes like a freaking glass cannon. His grab got nerfed a bit ago. Like, his Flutist got changed and all that. The only thing why I put him low is because he just doesn't have full command over his skeletons. He can't tell them what to do or anything like he did in the movie. It just really sucks because they just stand around all the time and don't really do much. So that's why I think he's pretty weak right now. Other than that, he can definitely shine, and with his moments he can be good. But it's just the main thing I have an issue with is just the fact that he just has no full command over his skeletons. It just really makes him lack a lot in his skill tree. So that's why I think he's weak in that regard. Like, Plaguebringer or Elagos little shit on him every time, and it just isn't good for him. I hope they change him in the future. This is what I would want. Just give him full command over his skeletons and he'd be solid for the most part. It would help a 1v1 scenario, but something needs to be done with this character, otherwise no one is really going to play him. So that's my opinion. He just needs full command over the skeletons and over his and that's what I think should happen. I don't know. I just think it'd be better, but like I said, that's just my opinion. Like, he'd be higher if he was buffed, but he's just not that good right now. He just gets shredded every time you do something, unless you play him to an extent you know how to dodge, but that's just me. Let's see. Blacksmith, I think, is next, right? It's only 3 characters. Blacksmith, I think. Let's see. No, I didn't put him in. Alright, Blacksmith, C. I'd say, for the most part, his active ability is just slow when he crafts and all that, but the good side about him is that he can craft weapons and do all that, craft legendary, rare, and all that, all the rarities and that. The only thing that I have an issue with is just the fact that you know, he got nerfed recently. Like, his health is lower and all of that. When he could have just gotten his active ability, could have been like buffed to make it a little faster. It's just slow as shit. But like when he makes weapons, it's just where he's bugged, where like it falls through the floor or something. I'm just not a fan of him from that. I don't know why he needed a nerf. He could have gotten buffed instead, but that nerf kind of killed him in a way, because like he can still heal a lot. It's just not that good, where his health is lower and his, you know, everything else about him just feels weaker. Like, I don't know why they thought it was smart to nerf him. He wasn't that strong and he wasn't that weak, but you know, he was on a good spot. I just feel like they could have just made his active a little faster or something. I don't know. He just isn't that good for me to play. He's not the weakest demon or the weakest survivor. He's just bad. David, yeah, he's literally the weakest support in the game, and he is garbage. Nail Gun Mastery kills him completely. It sucks. It's not that good. His everything else about him is terrible. Yeah, his active ability is just, it has such a long cooldown. Like 110 seconds of a cooldown is fucking ridiculous. It needs to be like 75 or 60 seconds or something. It's just not that good. It is terrible. It just isn't. It just doesn't make him feel any good at all to play. No one really picks this character anymore. He's like the weakest fucking support in the game, and just has nothing else going for him. It is just terrible to play this fucking character. Yeah, David sucks. It's just there's nothing else further to talk about, and he's just terrible. He needs a rework or a buff or something. He's just ass to play. All right, so we have David at D. Yeah, he sucks. He's just not that good. No one really plays him. Yeah, you don't have to pick him at all. If you want to play him for fun, that's you, but I don't play him. All right, Henrietta, I'm debating on who to put her at, D or C, to be honest. There's no way she's above B or even close to that. I'm kind of considering where to put her, because like, just on my opinion, I've been enjoying her recently, so I like what she has for everything so far. I'm kind of debating. All right, I'm gonna put her C, because she's not strong, but she's not weak either. Her boss unit is pretty slow, but she can do damage. It's just she just needs more health, and she gets shredded. But if you have the gas on or whatever, you can just do fucking damage with her. As of late, I've just been using elites, and mostly just them themselves at the start, because elites are just more fun to use. She can definitely use some love, in my opinion. Give her, just buff the troops, or buff bosses and buff her. The basics are fine. I do not want basics buffed. I think buffing elites would be fun, and buffing the boss itself would be more interesting, because it would just make more skillful games. Yeah, but other than that, I don't really see much of an issue. But other than that, like, that's why she's pretty low, because like, she's not strong, but she's not weak. Her and Evil Ash suffer the same. Like, their boss units just suffer pretty quick. You know, I mean, she's tankier than Evil Ash, but she just suffers a lot of just everything else on top of that. So that's why she's, you know, just basically lower. Yeah, she's just not brain dead like everyone else. Yeah, so that's my tier list, just of my opinion of the top 6 brain dead, you know, solid characters from bottom to weak and all that. So yeah, that is my tier list. That is just what I think. I'm going to end it off here. Thank you so much for watching. I am done for this. And yeah, thank you. You all have a great day. Stay groovy.
A brand new legal pistol, had to put it in my bitch name. I give your ass a halo, then I put it in my